Absolutely. Walking Dead's an interesting example of this culture, Grant. First of all, the one thing that's really fascinating and really makes the show work is that they finally figured out a victim that you can shoot. And not only do you not feel bad about it, you're kind of doing them a favor. Even if you were shooting Nazis, you'd still be shooting people. But when you're shooting undead zombies, you're not only not harming them, you're actually kind of helping them. You're putting them out of their misery. So, as a person to shoot at, a zombie's about as good as it's going to get. But I saw something online about this a couple of years ago, and I'm paraphrasing. I wish I had it exactly. But somebody said, in a society that doesn't allow you any adventure, then the only adventure is the destruction of that society. And I think that's really, really profound.
Yeah, and almost frightening in a way, because what we see from so many on the left are stopping really the adventure. And the adventure right now seems to be free speech, and the adventure that takes us on, that is clearly being stopped by those on the left. Not to say that we would ever get to the point where there is flat out chaos, but I hate to be like a fearmonger type guy, but I will tell you, I've stocked up on ammunition. I have food and water in the house. I'm not a prepper by any means, but I'm ready for whatever might go down.
That's the beauty. That's really the genius, I think, of The Walking Dead, because what The Walking Dead does is it gives people who've never had a chance to be tested a chance to play around in their mind whether or not they could pass the test. We're not likely to have to go to war in this country and just go out there and start blowing away moving targets. But a lot of people in the society who've led such a cush life and everything's so secure just wonder how they would do. And The Walking Dead gives ordinary people a chance to kind of put themselves in a crisis situation and imagine how they're doing. And as you say, it's about the only time in the left-wing pop culture where knowing how to use a weapon is not only just not frowned upon, it's the difference between life and death.